Mark, 0-0 draw here at Bognor Regis. Your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, it was a tough game. It was a hard-earned point. At the end of the day, a clean sheet away from home. We haven't been beat. But we would have liked a little bit more. But I think on the balance of play, draw was probably a fair result. We found it difficult to cope with their shape for large parts of the game. They played a diamond in midfield and they play it very well. They're one of the sort of teams in the league that tries to pass and tries to play football. And, it was probably one of the few occasions this season where perhaps the team have had more possession than us, and we sort of found it difficult. And we hang on in there to half time. Obviously Matt Patterson hit the post, first half was a good chance and fine margins, but they had a couple of opportunities as well. And we changed the shape at half time. We actually matched them up, and we had slightly more control of the game. And the idea was to try and get two up front and cause them a few more problems. And we certainly had some opportunities tonight. I think maybe we could have nicked it there in the end. I mean, Ezra Ford, had a good chance. Matt Patterson's had another good chance. The keeper's pulled off a great save from Zach McEachran. So we've had opportunities to nick it, but so they've had a couple of chances as well. And Joe Ostler, fantastic block in the box. Tremendous defending, and we've battled hard tonight. We'll take the point. That's 5 games unbeaten now, and then we'll try and move on to the next game.
Reece Fleet's made another really good performance off of the bench. Obviously came off and scored against Wilson on Saturday. Is it fair to say he's back at his best?
Yeah, I mean, Reece was doing great, before his injury. It's just, and then Mo and Godfrey have come in there and done a great job. So sometimes when you come back from injury and other players have come in and done well, you have to be a bit patient, and wait for your chance. But I felt the game, suited Reece a little bit. I thought we needed to get him on, and there's nothing against David Pearce. We made a tactical substitution at half time. I felt it was a really tough one for our wide players. Both him and Horatio first half were working so hard, but they were just so difficult for them to get in the game. And as I said, we did struggle with their shape. They played it well, so made a tactical substitution, and I think it's I think overall on the balance of play, probably a draw was a fair result. They've had some chances. We've probably had the better chances, I'd say. I think Jack Stevens has only really had to make one sort of good save first half. Their keeper's pulled off, as I say, a couple of great saves there. So it's never easy coming away on a Tuesday night. It's a long journey down here to Bognor. 2.5 hours in a coach. We've worked so hard over the last few weeks. With some really tough games, and I just felt the lads looked a little bit leggy tonight. We looked a little bit tired. And I can understand that. Maybe I could have looked at it and maybe tried to freshen it up a little bit with some fresh legs, and perhaps we'll have to look at that for Saturday. It's going to be a tough game against Hereford, and we've obviously got the big FA Cup game, and we need to try and keep players sort of fresh, really. And I've sort of selected more or less the same side over the last sort of 3 or 4 games, and I just felt after a real tough home victory against Wealdstone on Saturday, we did look a little bit tired, and with them popping the ball about on their shape, the lads have really had to sort of dig deep tonight to get a point, and credit to them for doing that. You say it's always good to keep a clean sheet away from home, and I think Bognor will give a lot of teams a really good game down here, and at the end of the day, like I say, we'll take the point, and I think that point has just moved us outside the relegation zone for the first time in a while, and we'll move on.
Lovely, thanks Mark.
Thank you.